Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are going to do some resin today, and I'm going to do some coasters. We're going to do some jewelry. We're going to experiment a little bit with some alcohol ink, and maybe put some of these teeny tiny flowers. I've got these flowers all set in here, which we're going to do, and then we've got these smaller cups for some of the jewelry. So we're just going to do a variety of things. I'm loving doing this this resin, and let me tell you, doing resin, your best friend is baby wipes, because the baby wipes will clean things out, kind of keeps the sticky off your hands, and all kinds of things. So invest in a little bit of baby wipes, because it'll be your best friend if you're doing any kind of resin projects. So I'm going to mix my resin, and I will be back to show y'all what we're going to do. Okay, so I mixed 4 separate little containers just so I keep everything even of what I may have to mix a little more, because I don't know if this is going to cover. And 2 tips. Your best friend is freezer paper with this. That's what I buy, or not freezer paper, but parchment paper. It's the best thing to, because nothing will stick on that parchment paper, so it's really great. And then I have one of these silicone mats that I bought off of Amazon, and I'll link that in the description. So we've got our 4 little containers mixed, and I'm going to pour each one over one of these and see how if this is going to be enough coverage. These are just artificial flowers that I'm putting in here. I thought they would make kind of a cute little coaster, so I only had 3 of the actual yellow ones, so I'm going to do 1 red and see how they turn out. I might have just enough. I may have to come back with just a tiny bit more on top of each one to cover them. It looks like I measured it pretty good. And these I'm just going to leave clear with no sparkles, no nothing, just the flower, the sunflower in the center. I thought would be cute. And then one just will have these little flowers. I've done quite a few already with like this iridescent powder that's turned out really pretty. And I've done some with just the clear and the dried flowers, which has turned out really nice too. This resin is so much fun. It's just so many different things that you can do, and the options are just limitless as to what you can do or put in it. Or we're going to do some jewelry, and we're going to use a little bit of the well, I'm going to do 2 more coasters too, and use some of the alcohol ink. I haven't experimented as much with that, and I've been wanting to, so I think that we're going to do a little bit of that, which which I've seen so many videos on YouTube, and they're so, I mean, they just all everything turns out so different. Like, that's what I'm saying, it's just such an experimental thing. I've got these ones that I made a week or so ago that I haven't finished because I gotta level off part of it, but I'll show you in just a minute. I think I might be good with this. I don't know if I'm gonna need pour a little bit more on top of these. These I did, and I put like ceramic tiles that are broken up in there, and then I put gold leafing in there, and I've got to level off because some of the ceramic tiles the resin didn't get underneath it, so I've got to level those up and finish those. So I'm going to mix just a little bit more resin to pour on top of these, and then we'll go on to the jewelry. Okay, so we're going to top this off just a little bit more to make sure everything's covered. Okay, so we're going to hit that with a little bit of the heat gun to bring the bubbles to the top, and position these flowers a little further in. You want to always either use some type of lighter. I have a heat gun that I use, but a lot of people just use a regular like lighter that you would start your barbecue pit with, one of those longer ones. Just brings the bubbles to the top so that you don't have any little air bubbles in there. Are done. We'll move on to the next ones. I'm going to mix a little bit more resin, and we'll be back for the next thing. We're going to do some alcohol ink. Okay, so we're going to do two here that we're going to use the alcohol ink in. So we just got to get these even. I think actually what we are going to do is just black and white on this and just see how this turns out. So your white is what activates the ink. So whenever you put your drops in of your color, you have to come back and drop on top of it your white, and that's what continues to activate the color and give you some interesting too overboard. So what I think I'm going to do is do a little bit of a swirl in here, and we'll see how these turn out. So I wanted something for extra. I think I'm going to use a toothpick. Okay, we're going to leave it at that and see what happens. We'll see it tomorrow and see how that activates. Okay, so now then we are going to do a little bit of jewelry. So one of the things that I have been doing is in these pieces are just like holes. So you have to put them down onto tape, and you got to really, what I did is I took a popsicle stick and I pushed them very, very hard on the back to try to secure them, because I've done these 2 or 3 times, and no matter what I do, it seems like you did the black and white, you've done these, those are ready to sit overnight. We're going to drip just a little bit down in these, not too much, because like I say before, when I've done these, they've run underneath, and it's just hard to clean them up and make them look. And I do sell most of this on my Etsy shop, so I don't want to have it not look professional. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit and get my flowers in there, or whatever I'm going to do. And then tomorrow I'll come back once that bottom part has dried, and I'll put another layer. The one thing, the reason you put it on the tape and not just lay it down onto the parchment paper is the tape will give it a really shiny look on the other side when it dries. So one thing about resin, depending on what kind of a mold you use, if the mold is like opaque and not shiny, it will leave your piece that same way. So just be aware of that, depending on what your outcome is gonna be with whatever you're making. Okay, so we're gonna get some of these little flowers and do I'm gonna use these. And these little things are so tricky to work with. You gotta be so careful. gonna let these sit overnight, and we will see how they turn out tomorrow, and we'll unveil them all. Okay, so these have sat overnight, and we are going to take them out and see how they look. So these look pretty cool. I mean, this side just turned out pretty much just black. So this turned out really pretty. Let me put the light down a little bit so y'all can see. So this turned out really pretty. This almost black. And then I'll level off these tops. And it wasn't opaque at all, so let's see how this one did. Same thing. And that's the other thing, guys, it's so important. You gotta make sure your molds are completely clean, because anything that is in there will show up. So which are a little thicker because I had to cover that. I'm going to have to trim this off here and level these tops off. These turned out cute though. Some of this just came up through the top. I'll clip this off and then level it off with some more resin. Oh, I got a bubble in there too, which I did not realize. A little one right there. That's those. And luckily before that I have done these, they've run underneath really bad. So these I will come back today and put more resin in because it'll level it off. Mainly I was just putting it in to get the flowers set in and not let it run underneath. Which they turned out really, once I get the resin on top, it'll look really good. Oh, that's coming off weird. Oh, okay. I'll put some more on the back of that one. And these two, these are the ones I'm having the worst trouble with because these little things on here don't lay flat. So these two did run. I think that one's not going to be good. I may have to, I'm going to leave this one, these on here until I pour some more in there. And these, some of these ran, so I'm going to have to trim the edges of them. They turned out pretty cute. So these, how they kind of ran over, you just, while they're still soft, when you take them out the first day, they're still soft. So you can usually trim around or do a little can't sand them yet because they're too soft, but you can trim off anything that ran out from around them. Okay guys, that is it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope that you get into some resin. It's a lot of fun. I will link the products that I use down below in the video, and I would appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up and you would subscribe to my channel, because I will do more, and it's just a lot of fun, and I thank y'all for joining. Have a great day. Okay, and I give you a good close-up of everything. These, I put some stickers on the back, and I'm going to resin on top of those stickers. And then this is how these look on the front. I put the ceramic tiles in there with a little bit of gold on top. And this is the jewelry that I'll come back and put more resin in on those. And these, I'm just going to make sets of magnets out of these.